Wasted career. That's the harsh label some basketball fans slap on Dave Bing's legacy. But at 81 years old, the Hall of Fame guard is finally ready to tell us what really happened during those turbulent years in Detroit. And trust me, the truth will change how you see greatness forever. Dave Bing was supposed to be special from day one. The Detroit Pistons made him the second overall pick in 1966, and he delivered immediately. Rookie of the Year in 1967, NBA scoring champion in 1968 with 27.1 points per game, 7 All-Star selections, 2 All-NBA first-team honors, the 1976 All-Star Game MVP. When it was all over, he averaged 20.3 points and 6.0 assists for his career, earned a spot in the Hall of Fame, and made both the NBA's 50th and 75th anniversary teams. Those numbers scream superstar. But here's what most people don't know about Dave Bing. He played most of his professional career legally blind. When Dave was just 5 years old, he was playing with a makeshift hobby horse in his Washington, D.C. neighborhood. The toy struck him directly in his left eye, causing permanent damage. His family couldn't afford emergency surgery, so the eye healed on its own. The result was permanently blurred vision that would never fully correct. Even with glasses, his vision was only 20/50. Without them, doctors would have classified him as legally blind. Think about that for a moment. A future NBA star learning to play basketball while seeing the world through a fog. Most kids would have given up. Dave Bing adapted. He developed compensatory mechanisms that nobody could see. He learned to read the game differently. He built an internal toughness that would define his entire career. But the vision problems were just getting started. In a 1971 preseason game against the Los Angeles Lakers, Happy Hairston accidentally poked Bing in his right eye, his good eye, the one he relied on for everything. Bing initially thought it was a minor injury and kept playing. Days later, he woke up and could barely see at all. The doctors delivered devastating news: detached retina. This wasn't just another basketball injury. This was a potential career ender. Bing's primary functional eye, the one he used as his lead eye for shooting, was now damaged. The surgery took 6 hours. He missed 37 games, or 2.5 months, of the 1971/72 season. Most players would have retired. Dave Bing started practicing free throws during his recovery. He relentlessly questioned doctors about when he could return to the court. His motivation was crystal clear. Any athlete is competitive, and basketball is my livelihood. If I can't perform, I'd lose that. There is no way I would have been satisfied sitting out. When Bing finally returned, he was forced to completely reinvent his game. His peripheral vision was severely compromised. Instead of instinctively picking up teammates on fast breaks, he had to identify them by their size and uniform colors. He admitted he wasn't the same player after the injury. He couldn't shoot as well or play with the same explosive flair that had made him special. The injury forced him to adopt more conservative shot selection and concentrate on other aspects of his game. It took him nearly a year to fully adjust to his new visual reality. This evolution from a slashing, aggressive scorer to a more cerebral, facilitating point guard wasn't by choice. It was survival. But vision problems were only part of Dave Bing's physical nightmare. Throughout his career, Bing battled a relentless series of injuries that would have broken lesser players. In the 1968/69 season, he developed chronic arthritis in his knee that he described as feeling like a dull toothache. The pain significantly hampered his jumping ability and required extended warm-up times before every game. After each game, he needed ice packs just to function. Eventually, doctors discovered a jagged bone chip that required surgery. This knee issue directly attacked his signature driving game. As Bing explained, the threat of the drive loosens a defender for the jump shot and vice versa. But when I curbed the driving game, the defense was able to play my jump shot tougher. My scoring was bound to fall off. My whole game got worse. The injuries kept piling up. Fractured thumb, fractured knuckles that forced him to play most of the 1967/68 season with a damaged right hand. Multiple gashes requiring 34 stitches total. A painful right leg injury initially suspected as a cracked bone. Later in his career, he dealt with a chipped patella and nagging groin injuries. Bing himself acknowledged the brutal reality. There were more hands on me last year, no doubt about that. Things were much more physical when I started scoring. The NBA in the late 1960s and early 1970s was less regulated and more violent than today's game. Defenders could be more aggressive without consequences. Bing's attacking style made him a constant target for physical punishment. Yet he rarely missed games except for the detached retina. His pain tolerance and dedication were extraordinary, but individual toughness couldn't fix the chaos surrounding him in Detroit. The Detroit Pistons during Bing's era were organizationally dysfunctional in ways that would be comical if they weren't so destructive. The team faced persistent internal dissension. particularly directed at coach Donis Butcher. Butcher's manipulative approach created a grumbling monster of a team. Here's how toxic it got. Butcher would tell multiple players competing for the same position that each of them was his boy. When players compared notes, they realized the coach was lying to everyone. Trust evaporated. Team chemistry became impossible. The instability continued with frequent coaching changes and constant player turnover. After Butcher's departure, Paul Seymour took over but implemented his own problematic philosophy. Seymour believed the offense would improve if Bing and other guards shot less, directing more opportunities to the forwards instead. Seymour also made numerous personnel changes, creating a revolving door of players. Bing vividly recalled a 3-week period where the team experienced a coaching change and acquired 6 new players simultaneously. The result was a snowball effect of poor performance. Think about trying to build team chemistry when your roster and coaching staff change every few months. It's impossible. While Bing was individually adaptable, the team could never adapt or grow collectively because its composition and leadership were constantly shifting. Despite this organizational chaos, Bing maintained admirable leadership throughout. He was described as a wonderful gentleman in the game and outside it. As the floor general and captain, he led with quiet dignity, preferring personal, man-to-man discussions rather than locker room tirades. Bing firmly believed in building rapport with teammates. No matter how much talent a team has, it can still be a bad team without rapport, he said. He maintained a light atmosphere with good-natured kidding and never publicly criticized his teammates. But positive leadership couldn't overcome fundamental systemic dysfunction. Bing was trying to build cohesion through personal connection in an environment that actively undermined trust and stability. All of these factors combined to create Dave Bing's most persistent criticism. Lack of playoff success. Bing's individual brilliance is undeniable, but his teams never advanced beyond the second round of the playoffs. With Detroit, he participated in just 3 playoff series. In 1967-68, the Pistons won 2 games in a 6-game series, with Bing averaging 28.2 points per game. In 1973-74, they won 3 games in a 7-game series, with Bing averaging 18.9 points. In 1974-75, they won 1 game in a 3-game series, with Bing averaging 16.0 points. His career playoff win percentage was 41.9%. Later playoff appearances with Washington brought marginal improvement, but never the deep runs that validate superstar legacies in basketball culture. This statistical trend reveals a disparity between Bing's regular season excellence and playoff performance. The increased defensive intensity focused on Bing, combined with insufficient offensive support from inconsistent teammates and lack of strategic cohesion, made his individual brilliance harder to translate into postseason success. Today, this lack of playoff runs is frequently cited in debates about Bing's placement among basketball's greatest players. Sports culture has become obsessed with championships and deep playoff runs as the primary metric for individual greatness. This rings culture sometimes overshadows individual performance, resilience, and impact within challenging contexts. But here's what makes Dave Bing's story truly special. He never gave up. After basketball, Bing built a business empire. He founded Bing Steel, which later became the Bing Group, one of the largest African-American-owned businesses in the United States. From 2009 to 2013, he served as mayor of Detroit during one of the city's most challenging periods. Dave Bing's legacy isn't defined by championship rings or deep playoff runs. It's defined by extraordinary perseverance, adaptability, and leadership in the face of relentless adversity. He represents the archetype of a player who maximized his potential despite circumstances that would have derailed lesser talents. His career is a compelling narrative of someone who constantly battled formidable personal and systemic challenges. Vision impairment from childhood, a devastating eye injury in his prime, chronic pain from numerous injuries, organizational dysfunction that prevented team success. Through it all, he maintained his professionalism and competitive spirit, being transformed from an explosive scorer to a cerebral point guard not by choice but by necessity. He played through pain that would sideline modern players. He provided stable leadership in an unstable environment. He adapted when adaptation seemed impossible. Wasted career? Hardly. Dave Bing maximized every opportunity he was given and created success despite overwhelming obstacles. His achievements are amplified by the profound challenges he surmounted. That's not wasted potential. That's pure greatness. At 81, Dave Bing remains a testament to the power of determination and skill. His story proves that true greatness isn't always measured in championships, but in how you respond when everything is working against you.